Okay, we are now back to our Caspio. Go into our app first, all right, and then of course you have your overview. But today we want to do the authentication. Okay, I already created one, but doesn't matter. All right. So your screen will actually be blank, and then you can create the authentication using this button here. All right. So the first thing is we need to identify which uh, table or view to use for the authentication. Right, which one? So okay, so choose let's say the one that we want, and then you get to play around with the setup. You can use the express, but I will use the custom so that we can see more things inside here. All right. So most of the time, okay, I don't. We are not going to cover the external. Right. We will just use the standard, right, standard table of view because we're using this one is my view, right, this is actually my view, you can see, or you can use a table, right, but now we are using a view. Okay, so you have the email you want and the password. All right, so if I do not want it to be called username, I can actually change it to email, for instance. All right, there are things that you can still play around with, all right, for each one of this. Okay, you can also add in element, right, like HTML blocks. Okay, uh, after that, all right, when you're happy with it, you can click the create and give it a name. Okay, you can give it let's say user authentication. All right, okay, can do a user authentication. Okay, you can still edit, right, so that in case you want to make further changes to it, you can still play around with it, right. But this is the basic. There is the advanced option down here, all right, where you can set things like redirection, timeout, okay, 2 hour, all right, so forth. Do you only one session per user? Okay, so all this you can still play around with it. Okay, so let me just save this. Right, so now I have the user authentication. So this is the authentication, but you need to tie the authentication to your data page, right, which is you need to authenticate first before you reach your data page. So we go into the data page. Let's say this. All right, so I want to make changes to this. All right. So right now, we have already seen the form before, so we're not going to go into the detail. But this is the part. Okay. So I want to have a restricted access to this data page using, okay, using what I just created. Right. And you can finish. All right, and it should work, but of course you need to test it out, right, which means go back to the embed area and test it out, and you should have a login page. Only once successful, then you will be able to access this data page.